Mustafa behind the pen and the paper, Mustafa behind the mic and everything. You have worked during Jammeh's time in 2014 as that was the time you started, down to working with standard newspaper. How does working with this different medium help you shape your career as a journalist?
I think the best thing that ever happened to me was start work with Amed. Amed has a very tough work ethics, and when you work with him, it's not an easy thing, and so you get to learn things were tougher than they ordinarily should have been. So you see, when you find yourself in a normal newsroom, you can learn to accept better. I think working with Amed was the best thing to happen, and so yeah, I mean, I guess that's what saved our work ethics.
Okay, that is interesting. So I would like to, how has this impacted you personally as an individual, working as a journalist, and coming to know that you also do more of investigative reporting now? How has it impacted your life as a person and those around you?
Look, if you check YouTube, I think I said YouTube because this is generally, this is common for all investigative journalists across all over the world. If you check for, there is this short video Guardian newspaper UK made about the journalist. It's a funding, it was a donation drive to raise some funds for their journalism, and they allowed the investigative journalists to be speaking about their lives. And one of the things you get is that for an investigative journalist, if not in all of the cases, they are obsessed with their subject, not obsessed in a negative way, but in a positive way. And so that it's like an intelligence officer. It's not intelligence that is required to be able to do this work efficiently. It's patience and perseverance that is required, which means for every subject you have to stay with it for a long time. And that requires you to ask yourself questions when going home, talking to yourself when going home. That requires staying with your subject at night, thinking about it when you wake up, talking to yourself or your colleagues or family or girlfriends. You live a very boring life. I've had folks speak to me about that why are you always talking to folks about it? You just don't know what to do. You can't strike a conversation with folks.
Exactly.
And quite frankly, I mean, it impacts on your love life more than it does on any other thing. So you're mostly alone. I'm speaking from personal experience. You're mostly alone. With your small clique of people who are either obsessed with politics or obsessed with public policy or obsessed with corruption, and it's a lonely world, quite frankly. I think this is not just for me, it's for every investigative journalist.
Exactly.
And you live a very boring life. Boring in the sense that you live a very boring life, and boring in the sense that you don't live normal life. People find you to be very...
Yeah, I think I would love to come there. Sometimes I just get this from people. If you are known to be an investigative journalist, people tend to be very careful. Even if they are sitting with you, even they are chatting with you, they are maybe kind of suspicious that you might be recording secretly or you might be trying to get some information from them. How do you feel when you interact with people, them knowing fully well that you are an investigative journalist? How do you feel?
Well, that's not very difficult for me. From a social point of view, I interact very well with people, and they respect me for what I do, and I respect them also for who they are.
This particular story that I came across on one of your publications on Maligan's website. That is the the title reads Aki Tragedy: How Indian Drugs Claim Lives of Over 70 Children in the Gambia.
Yes.
But there's this particular caption that a source was talking directly to you. So I was imagining, how did you take that? And I quoted from the individual. He said, I started crying when the doctor told me that he has a kidney problem. This kidney issue was already in the news. I had given up on her from there.
Yes.
This is a father talking about.
Yes, and there was more.
Yes.
And it was a very emotional day for me too. I mean, and not just that. I mean, I have investigated a case where a child was raped. Two 11-year-old children were raped by a white guy, and I have police and the family and the parents working against me because they've taken money from the white guy to trump upon the case, to kill the case. And so, when I filed that story, I sent a message to the editor back then, and I said, one of my biggest problems with regards to this story is, how do I convince a father? How do I protect a child from a father? You see? So sometimes you don't come across easy questions, like how do you protect a child from a father? Because a father is the last wall of defense between a child and harm. And now that father is harming that child. Now how do you protect a child from that father? And then you come to think about it. I mean, one of them told me while we were having a short meeting in the police prison, in the police headquarters, in the police station, that, Mustafa, even if we take this case to police, nothing will come out of it.